For more of that. Gabrielle Bosche, my guest right now, a proud founder and a president of the Millennial Solution. And Gabrielle, how are you?
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Good to have you. You know, we've been talking a little bit about Mark Zuckerberg's appearance yesterday, which was like a marathon. He sat up there for 5 hours and took all these questions. The bigger question is a lot of these senators are older. Maybe they don't really understand social media to begin with. But for the younger set, the millennial set, I wonder, and you posed this question, I thought it was interesting. Do millennials even really care how much information they've turned over to social media?
And the truth of the matter is, statistically, it just shows that they don't. And this is a generation where nearly 1 out of 4 millennials have had their personal information stolen one way or the other. So it's almost as if it's a rite of passage that you're having to exchange your personal privacy, your personal security, for the convenience of using social media or, frankly, most any other tech platform these days.
Yeah, and it's I said it earlier that I'm as guilty of it as anyone. If there's a new app that I want and I download it, I'm the first one to get into it as quickly as possible. I click the little agree button to whatever the fine print is. I never read it. I mean, that's the easy stuff that people don't think about. My son must be on twice as many social media sites as I am. He's 19.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the way that we communicate is constantly using social media. But I think what's going on Capitol Hill these last few days has more to do with the potential threat to our Social Security accounts, to our bank accounts, to the future growth of our businesses. It has more to do with that and less to do with, marketers, trying to get us to buy the newest sneaker or the newest car. They're going to continue to do that. But I think the real concern is, for millennial or not, what does the future look like when essentially our information is being sold on a virtual black market? Yeah,
that's true. And although Facebook would tell you they don't sell your information, they just manipulate it within their own system, right, and sell, I guess, access to it for advertisers, right, so, who can come in and say, I need to target 20, 25-year-olds who are interested in shoes, and then suddenly their ads pop up on your newsfeed.
Yeah, and it again has so much more to do with the potential manipulation that's out there, and frankly, the limiting of speech. It's a fascinating kind of constitutional conversation we're having right now, because here we have Facebook, who is a private company, a private entity. When you sign on to Facebook, you agree to their terms of agreement, which they change all the time so that no one actually pays attention to what it actually says. But you're opting into using a platform. You're saying, yes, I will let you do, these things to my information. So you're giving them access. Whether or not people are knowingly doing it is fascinating. But more than anything else, and I think that the committee hearings yesterday was fascinating when you looked at it through the lens of free speech, because Mark Zuckerberg said multiple times that they were going to have to take responsibility for what was said on their platform. And that really leads to the limiting of free speech. Who's to say, something is hate speech or not? Mark Zuckerberg even admitted that Silicon Valley, the home of Facebook and many of the other tech titans, is a very left-leaning community, his words.
Right.
So I think that there's certainly a large concern for who's actually policing what's being said and who's determining whether it's fair speech or free speech.
Yeah, that's a good point. I had this discussion earlier with Hans von Spakovsky, who's an attorney with Heritage. He pointed out that same issue and the fact that the Democrats, a member of Barack Obama's campaign from 2012, said that they went in and were able to harvest just about every social media contact that existed in Facebook and save it to their database. And that once Facebook found out about it, they shut it down, and the Republicans weren't able to do the same thing. What that gave them, the Democrats, that is a unique ability to then target people who were in your generation. What is your advice? Because I know that you advise campaigns on this, that moving forward the Republicans are going to have to do to try to get their message out to a millennial generation that, from most of the polls I've seen, leans left?
Certainly, millennials statistically vote Democrat 2-1. Young people voting Democrat certainly isn't news. But what the right is going to have to do is to find other mediums that are going to be getting around the traditional social media, aka Facebook, and even Instagram, which is owned by Facebook, to actually get their message out there. They're going to have to be looking at alternative forums and looking for more compelling information rather than parking their campaign ads on a platform that has admitted that they've been muting conservative voices. Right. So I think it's certainly going to take a different level of creativity, but I think more than anything else, the right is really going to have to inspire a message worth spreading. It's more than having a viral video. It's got to have a viral vision. And I think that going into the 2018 midterm elections, that's going to be the biggest challenge for Republicans as they're running to capture the millennial market. Because come 2020, millennials are now the largest part of the voting bloc, or we will be in 2020. And so candidates are going to have to specifically be targeting my generation with a message that resonates, a message that inspires, and a message that we can act on.
Yeah, that's a great point. Listen, Gabrielle, I appreciate your time. What is a website that you want to talk about where people can go find out more about you?
You bet. People can find more about us and sign up for some of our free webinars, download some of our free resources for campaigns for corporations and for nonprofits at millennialsolution.com.
Very good. Hey, Gabrielle, have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
Gabrielle Bosche there, from founder of the Millennial Solution. And I thought it